Game on indeed. And we are on Nomad. Bassai Dai picked this map. He had the option to play Hideout, but he's gone for Nomad. And let's have a look here at the TC positions of both players and the docks as well. Bassai Dai, oh baby. Oh my goodness me. Okay, we're in for a good one here. We gotta check the scouting because both players are very, very close to each other, and Superhero might find him with his sheep. Oh my goodness. Yep, he did. Superhero found Bassai Dai's TC, and Bassai Dai stole the sheep from him that was used to scout. And he's taking the fish near the dock. And the docks are also very close as well. This could be an extremely quick game, Nilith.
I've had a couple of issues getting in. I am in now. I'm trying to catch up to live time, hopefully.
Okay. No worries.
But okay, yes. Yeah, so I now see what you mean with the very close TC spawns. Excellent.
Yeah.
This is part of what makes Nomad as chaotic as it is, right? And also as you said, the docks being that close as well. So we'll see how quickly Bassai Dai can benefit from the Persian bonus of having the extra 50 food and 50 wood. He can get his fishing ship out a bit quicker, and indeed there it is. So Bassai Dai getting the benefit of that start quickly. But the thing is when you're playing against Spanish, on Nomad, the last thing you want is to be next door to each other with TCs, because you know what's going to be coming in early castle. So has Bassai Dai, I imagine he predicts that, and I imagine Superhero plays to form and goes with a strategy that you would choose Spanish on this map for. So does Bassai Dai preempt it, go fast for feudal, get some scouts out, and stop the villagers from getting the castle up? That's going to be the interesting question as Superhero brings in his first Rhino under the TC.
Well, that is going to be a good question. Does Bassai Dai know about the TC's location? The thing is, for him, the Bassai Dai, Mole said in the chat, TC drop. It actually might be his best play. If this goes to Castle Age, and Superhero's got stone right next to his town centre, but no gold, actually. No gold. Which could be a big factor. Bassai Dai now does see the sheep. It does see the town centre with the sheep. Maybe a Persian douche would be a really powerful strat here. I wonder.
Yeah, no, absolutely right.
Let's find out. So, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is we mentioned Persians is definitely a comfort pick for Bassai Dai as a civ that he's got a lot of experience with. But I don't know that he has that much experience with the TC drop. I think he plays the civ in a much more standard way. So is that something that he's got to build for? Or is it something that he's comfortable with doing? I'm not necessarily sure. So we'll see. But I think you're right, and certainly Mole's right. That's definitely the play to avoid any issues.
Well, Bassai Dai has done a very good job here of his Dark Age build, and that is something which can be very fiddly on Nomad. But despite Spanish having the faster building town centre, Bassai Dai, mainly due to the places his villagers spawned, he had two a bit closer together, so he could build a TC with two builds instead of one. But his town centre was up a little bit faster, and the dock as well from Persians means that he has 5 fishing ships on the field compared to Superhero's 1. Now that is a huge bonus to his food economy. And he went heavy on wood earlier. He's coming off that a little bit now. First CC isn't quicker. Oh, I did not know that. Okay, they changed that in the recent patch. Okay, in that case, never mind. But still, Basadai's food economy and general economy is looking much stronger, so he probably will be the first one up to the feudal age. And it is just going to be a question of what happens. Superhero has seen the stone there, so he could go for some kind of tower dropping, or he could be trying to get to a quick castle age. But yeah, he's also struggling to find the gold nearby his town centre, which I think could be a huge problem for him.
It's also not going to get the benefit of any more rhino, I don't think, whereas Bassai Dai could very easily claim the one to the sort of the right of his TC, where there's a couple of zebra running around, and also having to run around this entire wood line for these two zebras that Superhero has had to get isn't ideal. He's just not quite spotting. Actually, there is a rhino right at the very south, which is just outside of his fog of war.
That is actually quite tragic. He's missed that. I think he's on a hunt. Oh, okay, he's walling in Basadai's gold. He's on a hunt for some extra res here, is Superhero. I think he will find that rhino. Yeah, he has that rhino in his line of sight, just past the wood line. So he's going to build a mill on the berries, and I suspect he will send a Vil to pick up the rhino, lurking over to the west.
I absolutely love the walling in the gold. It's recognizing that Bassai Dai is where he is. It's, if I can't have any gold, neither can you. The only issue with that is that there is another gold pile that Bassai Dai has spotted up to the north, with a stone pile right next to it. And I don't believe, I'll double check now, Superhero does not have that scout. He doesn't know about that yet.
No.
So, depends on how quickly Bassai Dai sees that that's been walled up. In fact, he's going to find out now as he sends out a village to put a mining camp on it. So we'll see what his response is to that quite soon.
So Bassai Dai making the 11 in the chat. Bassai Dai with the classic nomad issue of not having a second Dark Age building to go up, but he does click up eventually. There's a lot of food in the bank. Superhero has 400 in the bank and hasn't clicked Feudal Age. So you can see just how much that early fishing economy snowballed Bassai Dai there. Okay, and he does find that gold. That's actually huge there, that he can go up and take that gold. He's built the mining camp a bit far away now. Like a couple tiles, but anyway, he will be on gold. Superhero is going to his stone. And, well, Bassai Dai needs to be a bit careful here, because his opponent is Spanish and is going to want the castle drop. And I'm yet to see what he really plans to do about that. Currently, he looks like he's going to try and fast castle himself. Superhero walling his opponent in even more with palisade walls. Blacksmith comes up for Bassai Dai. And a mill.
A key thing with Nomad, obviously, is the scouting, and Bassai Dai has clearly done his homework because he's done a really good job with his scouting. He's got hold of quite a few sheep, sending them all over the place. However, ironically, he hasn't found Superhero's dock, where Superhero has found Bassai Dai's dock. I don't think that matters so much, because Superhero is obviously probably not going to go and fight on water if he wants to do the castle drop. But it's slightly ironic that despite having the better scouting, Bassai Dai hasn't been able to spot the dock despite that.
I think it matters quite a lot. He is building a fire ship, which says to me that he might have actually some idea that there's fishing ships over there. Yeah, and he sends that one across
he's sending
now.
them the right way. I mean, I think a group of the fishing ship for the Superhero did go towards the dock and was probably within line of sight and turned around. Whether Bassai Dai was able to see that in a mini-map, perhaps he was, because as you say, he's sort of patrolled it in the right direction. He's found a house though, so
yeah,
he'll do well to go back to that and make sure that he keeps sending that round. Meanwhile, the fishing ships are escaping around to the top.
This is huge though. This is so good for Bassai Dai. It's just a testament to his Dark Age economy, basically. He's clicked up to the Castle Age, and he's got 6 vills on stone. I think he'll have to buy a little bit of stone if he wants to make a castle, but he's got 10 vills now. Okay, fair enough. He can be the one to drop the castle, and Superhero's palisade walls are actually quite nice because they might buy him that extra tiny bit of time he needs to survive here, but he hasn't got a market, he hasn't got a second building yet, and he hasn't got any gold in the bank. because, well, he's walled in the gold that is closest to him. So he's a bit in trouble here, Superhero. Bassai Dai is very, very close to reaching the castle age, and it won't be too long after he does so that the castle will come down, presumably right on top of Superhero's town centre. So let's see if Superhero can fend this one off. He is panicking a bit now, getting the market up of his own. We'll have to sell a bit of stone and maybe some food, and then he can click up. Bassai missed the fish. He's coming back for it now. And a redock from Superhero. That's quite nice that Bassai spotted that. Game is paused when Bassai just hit castle age. And also,
yeah,
I love this redock from Bassai Dai in this big like lagoon.
Yes.
It's such a good place to make your dock.
Yeah, really, really, really good, really important. Especially with your enemy dock being on the other side as well. It opens up all that fishing for you, really, really good. We're back live again. So Bassai is in the castle, but he hasn't got enough stone for the castle yet.
No.
But he's not going to get punished for it because Superhero still has now clicked up. I think Bassai is preparing for it. You can see the villagers trying to run around now.
Bassai Dai, please. Just no. Okay, that's it. He gets fletching. Oh, I really don't like this castle. You've got to make your castle in a better place than that. Superhero's palisade walls there have done him such a favour. This is not the castle that Bassai Dai wanted to place. I think if you can get him off wood, stone, and town centre with one castle, be so much better. Okay, it does range you got fletching. It does range the town centre.
But the TC is fine, but there's no villagers in harm's way, are they? They're all the wrong side of the TC as far as the castle's concerned. And Superhero is 50 seconds away from being castle age with stone himself for his own castle. And the thing is that his eco is going to be much better prepared as long as he keeps the fish alive, and they are running a long way around to avoid Bassai's fire galleys.
Yeah.
But as long as his eco's right, he can actually produce out of his castle, whereas Bassai Dai won't really be able to. So, yeah, it might still be advantage Superhero, despite being slower up to castle.
So what he's going to do is build a castle potentially on this hill next to the gold. Let's see where he's going to place this castle. He might start at the town centre, actually. Okay, yeah, he places it there. And that secures the gold and the wood line closest to Bassai Dai. It's quite a nice place for a castle, actually. It does take the TC, but that's okay. Bassai Dai now is sending a knight over to this town centre. Will be attacked by a town centre, or not. There we go. Does get a few volleys thrown at it from the town centre, but economy for Superhero heavily idled inside the town centre. I think he should just abandon that location.
It's not just that, though, it's the fishing ships as well. The fishing ships, he's moved them out of the way to hide them, they're not doing anything. So as the game's paused again, I mentioned he'll have the eco to make kongs. He won't, because at the moment he's got no farms, he hasn't researched horse collar, and the fishing ships aren't able to do anything because Bassai Dai's got plenty of fire galleys out. Superhero did make a couple of galleys to try and fight them off, but I think was so busy trying to work out where to place this castle that he didn't end up microing appropriately and getting rid of the fire galleys. So Bassai Dai's water investment looks like it's going to pay off.
It definitely does. It definitely does. And having the water on Nomad is a big part of the map. Neglect it at your own peril. And I think Bassai Dai is definitely ahead here, but it's quite a fragile situation for both. And if Superhero can somehow find some res from somewhere to get some conks out, he would have a really good time. But as someone said in the chat, green is not on gold anywhere. I think he can delete these palisades on the gold that's underneath the castle and take that for himself. But food is the big problem. Food is the big problem for him. He has no town centre to farm around. So he's going to have to relocate his base, but he doesn't have the stone for that town centre, so it's this kind of compounding set of problems for Superhero right now. Whereas Bassai Dai just got that one problem. Castle near his base.
A little bit of market abuse from Superhero there to try and get his run a little bit. He's had to buy some food to continue creating villagers, but he's losing one under the TC to the couple of Persian knights that are running around. They're not going to find any more damage now because the entirety of the eco is just sitting in that town centre in England.
Yeah, I don't think he should be creating TCs. I think he should be creating vills, sorry. He should be creating TCs somewhere else. Conk coming out now is quite a nice one. But Bassai Dai is getting a town centre up. This is a really nice town centre. It's got all 4 resources in Age of Empires underneath this town centre. Stone, gold, food, and wood. And the walls are deleted.
Are running, but there's a little bit of a couple of pick-offs for the knight, which is quite handy. For Bassai Dai.
They are going to reach that location though. That's good news for Superhero, and they are going to mine some gold, which can be spent on stone or food. And a monk as well, okay. The Superhero is going very, very low eco. Well, he has no town centre, which is about as low eco as you can go. Bassai Dai, if the later this game goes, the more favourite it'll be for him, but he has to survive this storm here of the Conquistador and Monk push. Okay, here's the town centre. Okay.
But Bassai Dai has found the fish and is clearing it up. In a way, and Mole's making a point here, it should have been killed by now, absolutely. But in a way, you might as well just leave them, because you've got water, they're not going to be able to work safely. You're just... There were 6 fishing ships, 6 pop that was just being wasted there for Superhero on the low economy. It's just not the way to go at all. But why not kill it?
Yeah, it's good to kill it because then they they're definitely not fishing somewhere else. But as you say, Superhero's attention was heavily distracted. And this is what Bassai Dai... It is the dream start for the set for Bassai Dai. This is probably why he picked Nomad. Something like this happening. He's managed to create chaos, and Superhero now is in a really, really tough spot. He's got half the vills of Bassai Dai, and less army as well. It is selling knights for Bassai Dai. Versus 2 conks. And Superhero now starting to get some farms up and a mill out here on these deer, but it's very, very low eco for him. Bassai Dai, 22 vills on food. And I'm not sure what he will do next, but he can kind of do anything. He can go to Imp and Trebs would be his safest play, I guess. But he might not even need to do that. I think he can just harass more with his army. Maybe not with now the monks are out. Like, Superhero's base is so compact that it's kind of hard for him to find any more damage, right? So maybe he should
I was just going to
him.
say. Yeah, the castle's protecting pretty much his entire eco at the moment. So the knights don't really do anything. So I think you do want to get up to Imp and trap that castle back. You're on 3 TCs, they're Persian TCs, so they work a bit faster. Which he'll know very well. He's going to chase a couple of the conks in towards the castle. But find no damage there. So yeah, it's certainly advantage Bassai Dai, but I think you're right. I think as Bassai Dai, you really need to just to calm down on the light reduction. I say calm down. He's only got 1 in Q, so it's not too bad. He does lose 1 to a 2. Oh, that's a really big swing. 2 monks in a dream, as Mole put it in the chat, and there you go. That's half the dream realised.
Okay, and Superhero strikes while the iron is hot here. He's going to make a siege workshop, I think even more forward as possible. And this is what he has to do. because he needs to equalize the game now, because it is going to spiral out of control if he doesn't do anything. So I guess mangonels is the order of play for him. He's going to try and take out this town centre, which is being heavily saturated with bills for Bassai Dai.
Yeah, the eco balance not quite right, and the macro coming into play with the market there for Bassai Dai. He was up to almost 1,500 gold just before he started buying the field. And it looks like Imperial Age is the play.
There we go. Yep. On the way now. Superhero is obviously absolutely nowhere near Imp himself, but that is a lot of resources that Bassai Dai has got just sitting around waiting for 2 minutes to realise any potential. So the time is now for Superhero. What can he do in the next 2 minutes and 4 seconds? And he'll have to do something quite substantial. He is getting a good start here. So the town centre is fully garrisoned and vills are running away from it. I think even better if Superhero could chase after those vills and pick some of them off. Monks are harassing, looking around for some conversions. And
you also want to know where these vills are going as well, right? It's not just picking them off. If you know where they are, then you know where next to hit. Sort of thing. As Bassai Dai, I would love him to just clear up that last dot up to the sort of northwest side of the map, so that he knows that for the time being, Superhero won't come back on water, and that's his.
Yep. Definitely. He has 20 fishing ships, Bassai Dai. Most of his food economy is coming from the fish, and that means it's going to be very quick, but also it will run out at some point. He needs some more gold. The thing is, his gold has been completely negated by this town centre being mangonelled down, and he needs gold for trebs. So Bassai Dai here has to, with these vills that managed to run away, yep, there we go, mining camp is added on that gold. Not too happy about the position of it, but never mind. And he's going to get the res in the bank.
Sat 2 conks on the hill
Yeah.
next to CC where that gold was, and it's picked up a bunch of villagers, and Bassai Dai's only
firing
just
squad.
realised. Yeah.
We do miss some of their shots though, so more will escape than Superhero will want, but 1 treb in the queue, and that is a great start. That's what he needs to do. No bloodlines for Bassai Dai, which means no bloodlines for Superhero's knights that he's converted, so they will die to the castle fire quite quickly. Or armor, or any upgrades at all.
When you convert a knight, do you keep the stats as they are? So say if Superhero had bloodlines, but Bassai Dai did not, he doesn't suddenly have a bloodlines knight, does he?
No, it's exactly the same unit. If it's Sicilian Knight, it's got less bonus damage. Like, it's exactly the same. And you can't upgrade it.
So that's he's now gone down. We've got 3 mangonels from Superhero trying to find some damage. Probably pick off some buildings, but not much else because the castle is not too far away. And we're
well, they can take out the CC
first.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that decision. The thing, so Grandy's calling it in the chat, but it is looking quite good for Bassai Dai. The thing is, he hasn't got any army to swoop in and kill everything when his trebs do their magic. He needs some knights sitting ready. But his gold situation is so bad. Here we go. These bills on gold will help. And Bassai, look at Superhero's stone. Aye, aye, aye. Can he see? No, he hasn't spotted the gold from Bassai Dai. But if he gets that, honestly, he's in a great position. If he can spot the vills up to the northwest, the expansion, because he's not looking like the vill count is horrendous for him. But he's actually okay. Here we go, and this is exactly what I was talking about. This is the knights ready to sweep in. So Bassai Dai has got the ingredients now of a successful push. The mangonels are all going to die. There are monks there ready to convert though. This could be some good conversions. Superhero, you got to pay attention to those. Conversions come in. 1, 2, 3. And he gets one of them. The rest of the knights do escape. But 2 mangonels taken out for Bassai Dai, which is good news for him. Oh, one more conversion comes in actually, the tail end of that fight. And that's just buying Superhero more and more time.
Superhero to turn that knight around and have a go at his trebs, I think. Rather than just letting him get picked off by his old mates. I think that would have been the play. But there's a lot going on. He's rebuilding quite a lot in the back.
Oh, in this castle!
Yeah, Mole spots it. Yeah, Mole spots it. The castle was very well placed indeed. Whether he knew about that, I'm not entirely sure. But it certainly worked out to be a very useful placement.
Yep, and Bassai Dai has 0 built on gold. Superhero now has 21. And he's getting armor for his conks. The knights are sort of patrolling around, but this is really, really chaotic and open stuff. Bassai Dai, the thing is, he has the Vil lead, and he will always have the Vil lead in this game, I'm pretty sure, because he's Persians, and his town centers now work super duper quick as their Imperial Age. He has the Trebs. He just needs to muster up some... Well, what he really needs is to find a nice gold, a safe gold pile that he can take. And then just sit back a little bit, make some light cav to kill the monks, and make some just units, and start a really nice push with 3 or 4 trebs and kill everything that Superhero has. And he has the potential in that, but he's got the potential in him to do that, but Superhero's doing a really good job of just frustrating and harassing him the whole way, making it very hard to achieve that. I think he's going to go for some skirms now.
It's a very chaotic game, but Bassai Dai has got one ingredient, which is the scouting. Apart from the western corner, he knows where pretty much all the goals on this map are. But he's just not really taking advantage of that. He is now putting a mining camp, not a very good one by the way, on that southern gold pile. Now that he's cleared up the sort of second base, as it were, for a Superhero, he can probably take the rest of that gold, which is a good sort of 2,000 or so there, probably more than that even. So you know, there's plenty out there for him to take. He just needs to remember that he needs it and to go and find it.
Yep, that's exactly right. And he did a really good job microing the light cav against the monks and keeping the knights back away from harm. But Superhero did an equally good job of microing down the light cav and keeping the monks healing each other and super safe. So I think he only lost 1 monk there. Sanctity coming in now, a very important upgrade for any player using monks. And it is going to be skirms for Bassai Dai. That's the chosen way, and I think that's a pretty smart, safe choice for him. A cheap unit that counters monks and conks, so good stuff there, but he needs to get some upgrades for those. And that will just take some time, and I said before, the longer the game goes, the better for Bassai Dai, and I think that is still true. But, the longer the game goes, it means that Superhero is not dead yet. And he just has to be a bit careful that he doesn't let Superhero back into this, but he's slowly but surely tightening a net around the north of the map. The north-northeast corner. And it looks like Superhero now, rather than Bassai Dai being trapped in with him, he is now starting to be trapped in with Bassai Dai, and that's exactly what Bassai Dai wants.
Bassai Dai doing a good job adding a TC on that gold in the centre of the map as well. That's really good.
Really, really good.
We were talking about earlier on. Superhero does now try and snipe a couple of the trebs with a couple of knights, and there's not really any army around to deal with it. And
no, there's not.
They're being flanked by the conks, so Bassai Dai will still take losses in safety.
Big hit there on the skirmishers. Nice split micro from Bassai Dai to avoid any more mango shots. 2 conversions coming in. I think Bassai Dai deleted those knights to avoid them being converted. And the skirms are good, but they need some other meat shield in front of them because the mangonels obviously are amazing against this. And look at this! Bassai Dai just can't quite get something together, cobble an army together to rebuff this attack, and Superhero, the longer the game goes on, is just slowly but surely inching himself towards an economy of his own that can compete with the Persian economy from Bassai Dai. And yeah, feudal skirm, so he hasn't got Bodkin.
Either. Yeah.
I think he can take some of these fights though. He has to just take a breath here. He's got a lot of ranges. My goodness me. Do you really need 7 ranges? Not convinced, but okay, he's going to start taking the conks out, and this is really good for him. It's really good for him. Making a play in water, yeah, I saw that the war galley upgrade came in. Some fire ships being made from Superhero. I guess that would be quite nice, but I think there's a lot of dead pop space now. 33 fishing ships! I did not notice that. 33 fishing ships, most of which are pretty useless. So in terms of bill numbers, it's actually quite close. 71 bills to 65.
They're going to get sniped by these fire ships now. So it's still fire galleys for Bassai Dai. He knew that water was one, and Superhero's just passing all the fish and not attacking them. But
I am worried for Bassai Dai here. I'm going to say it. I think he might be making a comeback here. This could be an incredible comeback if it happens. But it's definitely not Superhero's game to win at the moment. Bassai Dai, he is in a good position here. He needs to stop making fishing ships. That is definitely a waste of his resources. He's making fishing ships from 3 docks, but they're all going to die. He needs to focus on his land army. And I think fighting over water is just a mistake from him. Nice attack here. This is perfect.
Raid, though, which is really good. Really good.
This is exactly what he needs to do. What he should be doing and can be doing as the Imperial Age player, he needs more upgrades. Bloodlines, he hasn't even got Castle Age armor. But that, like, Hussar with Bloodlines and the last armor take ages to die to TC. And he can run in there, kill the Vills, and run out and just be a constant nuisance. Kill these monks, kill the mangonels. You know, it's such a fragile army for Superhero now. Monk mangonel? There's no meat shield there. So he is able to take it out if he can just focus on the right thing at the right time, but Superhero is doing such a good job. Making it very hard for him to focus. And these rams now! Okay, battering rams coming out from Superhero.
I think you need a few more than just a 3, don't you? He's
I
done a
think
really
you
good
do.
job. He split some of his conks up. The gold that Bassai was taking to the south, that's been denied for the time being. So a really good job for Superhero, just breaking them up into little groups of 3 or 4 and letting them run around and find damage. But this is a really key battle now. Can Bassai Dai get this castle down in the middle?
Oh, he's going for the stone walls. Bassai Dai, careful. This is such a good game, and you can tell. I can tell by these Stonewall foundations that Bassai Dai is really focusing here. He desperately doesn't want to lose these trebs, and the battering rams choose them as their target, which is extremely smart. The Vills pulled to help clear them up, but they aren't doing too much damage. 1 treb goes down. Superhero's going to focus the next treb down, and will take it out as well. So this castle is going to live for a little bit longer. The rams are going to die, so there's no chance this castle dies from Bassai Dai, but Superhero has bought himself some more time on his own castle and is taking out town centres across the map. And Nillis, Superhero is the one with the bill lead in this game. Superhero has the economy lead. He killed all of the fishing ships from Bassai Dai, which is an enormous amount of economy that is now dead. And he has the bill lead. He has wheelbarrow coming in. Still no double bit axe for still no whatever it's called, bowsaw. But economy upgrades are not the order of the day on this chaotic affair on Nomad. And suddenly, the stats at the top of the screen, 26 army to 28, 73 vills to 74. It could not be closer. After all of this chaos, it's extremely close. And Bassai Dai's base is split half and half, which I'm not sure is a good thing. It might be good for him, but it also means that he has to fight on 2 fronts, whereas Superhero can focus left or right at once and just sort of play a much more... it's easier to focus on his avenues of attack for him. That's my point.
Bassai Dai did reverse the eco lead very briefly with a nice little light cav raid in the north. He's got one more Treb out, which is going back on that castle and is doing a little bit of damage. So far unnoticed by Superhero, but he's now sending the Rams back over there, I think, to do with that.
Yep.
But what a game. What a start.
What a game. Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness me, and a pop lead for Superhero now as well, and that's really bad news for Bassai Dai. I mean, okay, obviously, Superhero is still not in the Imperial Age. He's in the Castle Age here. And he can't make any trebs, so it's going to be so hard for him to kill these castles. But he's repairing the Rams! What is going on? This Vil and Ram sort of fight. Vil, Ram, Treb fight here. My goodness. And Bassai Dai is out of gold. Bassai Dai is completely out of gold, and I don't actually know where he can take more gold. He's losing his town centre to Mangonels at the bottom of the map. I think Superhero is going to win this game.
You can just see the gold pile on the west. He can just about see it. Whether he knows it is there and whether he can commit the time to find it is another matter, mind you. But yo, how has Superhero pulled this out? This is incredible.
Yeah, it really is incredible. Superhero now attacking the castle with villagers. Okay. And yeah, he can't ever click up though, Superhero. There's just no chance.
Yeah, I think the Rams was an admission that he's never going to get to Imperial Age, and that's it.
They were such a smart move, because taking the Trebs out, there's kind of no other way. I think it was such a smart move. I don't think Conks take Trebs out that quickly. Superhero lost all his Conks to his castle in the southeast. Aye, that's bad for him. He has taken out a lot of buildings with these Mangonels, and I think Bassai Dai would do well just to send 3 Vils here to snipe all those. But again, he's got a lot going on. It's very easy to backseat game now. He's going to send those Vils now and take those out. Even has some archers patrolling around.
For 5 monks for Superhero, completely unprotected in the middle of the map.
Yeah, yeah they are.
Anyone anywhere near him and isn't going to see them. Superhero putting a castle on the gold that Bassai Dai once had TC'd.
Yep.
Is a really good move. Again, Superhero, try and clear up Bassai Dai's docks if you can. That's how Bassai Dai let you back into water, by not doing that. So if you can try and do that, that'll be a really good thing for later in the game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, some Conks dying to Skirmishers, but Skirmishers dying to Mangonels in return. Oh my goodness me, and these castles from Superhero are starting to go up on every gold mine. Bassai Dai back on gold. This is huge for him. This is really huge for him, and 2 Trebs out now as well. Okay, this is the start of a really good thing for Bassai Dai now. He's managed to get some control back of that castle. He took out the castle from Superhero, and his Trebs are now safe to harass.
Superhero, you had 2 Conks next to those Mangonels, you ran them away, and the light have come in and take them out.
That's really good.
A real bit of miss micro for Superhero at a pretty important time.
Look at the res, no the lowness. Look at the res. He's going to make his play for Imperial Age now. I think that would be huge for him, because look how many castles he's got. Well, I say that actually. I think that's 1 castle. Hang on a minute. He lost a lot of castles to Trebs there, and Bassai Dai is moving the Trebs forward. He wants to take out some more of Superhero's economy. His TC is next in the line of fire. Bassai Dai... wow. Commanderan, okay.
Yeah, he's had 5 archers for a while, not really doing anything, so I think he wanted to set that up and just not got around to it. So for Superhero, this is fine. He's only got 1 archer armor in, probably could do more for the comps, that's fine. Bassai Dai still only has 2 blacksmith upgrades in for this entire game. Been fighting with light guard, been fighting with knights, been fighting with skirms, going now Commanderan archers. You really need to get these upgrades in, Bassai Dai, if you want to be able to kill this game off. Just having the Trebs and having the armor lead, as significant as it is, isn't going to be enough unless you get those upgrades in.
Yeah, it really is. Crossbow upgrade comes in now, so Bassai Dai can make crossbows which only cost wood, and indeed he does so. He makes quite a lot of them.
Imperial was clicked and then disappeared. I don't know whether that meant the TC that was in it got killed, perhaps? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
It flashed up for such a brief amount of time.
I bet it did. I bet it was in this TC which just died, and that might be something which Superhero just forgets about. We'll see. He spent some of the gold on mangonels.
To get rid of the trebs in the middle of the map. All the boys and girls.
They're going to go down. The crossbows need to come in. They haven't got Bodkin though, so they're just tickling these vills. You really need to get Bodkin at Bassai Dai. And the mangonel tries to take out these. Okay, Imp is clicked again. He sold a bit of food and is clicked Imp again, so Superhero will be on the way to Imp. He has one castle, and he's repairing it heavily, but out of stone now. Bassai Dai making another treb. I actually have no idea anymore. Maybe Bassai Dai can pull this one out. Oh, big mangonel hit.
Crazy game.
What an amazing game. Bassai Dai's lost so much army to mangonels this game. Yeah, Light Cav is a really good choice from him. Just to snipe siege and monks. That's what he needs to do. Bloodlines, let's go. Okay, Bassai Dai is starting to get a grip on the game. And get the upgrades he needs. 47 builds on wood, spending all the wood on crossbows, a really nice touch for Persians. Good play from him, and he can sit these crossbows behind the wood line, that's exactly what he's doing. Forcing the bills away. And Superhero is playing Nomad in a very nomadic style. His bills constantly forced to run away across the map, make new homes elsewhere. But Bassai Dai is starting to... Bodkin on the way, yes! Let's go, and armor can come in too. And 31 crossbows suddenly, out of nowhere. The army numbers 46 to 3. The Bassai Dai heavily in control right now.
And this is the thing, I wonder if going for Imp is the right thing, because in all this time, Superheroes had no army whatsoever to defend from Bassai, running around with his light calves, doing raids, sitting commander and archers behind wood lines, that kind of thing. So for this last 4 or 5 minutes, the Superheroes only gone backwards. And as Spanish, how much are you gaining? I guess it's, I mean, Trebs is probably what you want to go to Imp for. Does the Elite Conk upgrade really matter? Not when you haven't got any Conks on the Vittle, for sure. So, yeah, Superhero might look back at this and think that Imp wasn't the right decision.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Treb's obviously a very powerful unit, but he can't make Trebs if he has no castle, or if it's just going to die. The Treb will just die to enemy Trebs shooting it. Like you say, he's going for supremacy. Okay, supremacy can be used offensively, but I'm not sure imping for supremacy is the best idea.
Especially when you've already sent the boys and girls multiple times.
Yeah.
On ram runs and deleting Trebs.
Okay, let's have a look here. Supremacy will come in. This castle is nowhere near going to go down. Love to see masonry come in, but that is way off the radar for these players, I think. And there's just so many crossbows. I don't care if you've got supremacy, there's so many crossbows. So these spills now have 4 pierce armor.
Superhero has
It's just
no
all
gold.
gonna die. Yeah, he has to run away. I think it's slipping very quickly out of Superhero's control. Crossbows taking a heavy volleys on these villagers. Maybe they will get some good damage in on the Trebs actually. Never mind, they are going to get quite some damage, but that's the economy from Superhero going down at the front. And the castle falls. Bassai Dai, after an incredibly chaotic game, could be lining up to take this one as a 1-0 for him. He's looking really strong right now. Army number 69 to 2. Or 69 to 70, depending on how you view it, but the 70 army from Superhero.
To 70 pop.
Yeah.
Superhero is housed at 70 pop.
Oh, it's not good for him. It's really not good for him. He did well to pick up a relic earlier in the game, but that is all of his gold income right now. And these light cav now marauding through the base, gonna sweep through, take out all of the vills, running away to build a market. Desperately trying to balance the economy somehow, but I think Superhero is going to tap out and GG is called. What an amazing, amazing game. Bassai Dai 1, Superhero nil. No, let's talk me through what just happened there, because I don't really know what to say.
Nomad happened, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's a large part of the reason why he was in the map pool. And massive props to Bassai Dai for, like I said earlier on, he could have gone hideout. There's experience there. He knows a bit more about how superhero plays. He might know how to counter it, that sort of stuff. But he thought, no, let's take us both out of our comfort zone.
Mm.
Let's go to Nomad. Let's embrace the chaos. He even had the ability to snipe Spanish and chose not to, so he knew exactly what he was coming. He was gonna get.
Yeah.
It came. It went one way. It went the other about 4 different occasions. I've enjoyed looking at Mole and Vinny to debate where their predictions were going
Yeah.
as the game ebbed and flowed.
Yeah.
But by the way, Bassai Dai has had 5 fills shepherding sheep around on the eastern side of the map for basically the entire game. It feels like. I'm not sure whether they took the sheep and they were just moving the sheep forward and backward. They were it just a minor microcosm of how crazy that game was.
It looks like the evolution of man or something, like the different stages. Uh, um, and look at this, Nillis. The resources collected from Bassai Dai, the food collected, sort of was just it just demonstrates the value of the fishing ships, basically.
Yeah.
He collected so much more food, and it only grew and grew over the game. And it's thanks to those fish. He kind of fished out the entire perimeter, and then eventually his fish died. But they did their job. He didn't invest in farms early enough, maybe, but it was a really good performance from him. And he got imp just before Superhero got horse color. That shows how chaotic the game was.
I mean, don't forget, obviously, Bassai Dai was on 3TC for quite a long time. He had a no lead for basically the entire game, apart from what was about a 2-minute window where you spotted the switch happen. So obviously that's a massive contribution to the eco score there. But yeah, by me, what a crazy game, and what a way to start it off. And it's the thing, this superhero perhaps. What is the phrase? I'm missing the phrase. But it's the I'm missing it. There's a cliche about superhero being the one player that Bassai Dai can't beat. With the history that they've sort of developed over the last couple of months. This is I still can't get that phrase, but this is the first step on the way to correcting that now.
Yep.
And trying to get the 2-1 win that I and one or two others have predicted for Bassai Dai for this set.
That's absolutely right. Oh, and I
agree
bet
with
Bassai Dai is going to be happy with that one, because he was that is a sweaty game, you could say. But he did really, really well to win that one, and with his first pick as well. It's just massive props to him, because he had quite a lot of adversity thrown at him throughout the game there. So good stuff. I genuinely thought that Superhero was going to take it, even when the score lead was like 2,000 ahead. I genuinely thought that he was going to come back, just because Bassai Dai couldn't seem to. It was just so mentally taxing on him, fighting everywhere, that he couldn't get his game plan together and really build up an army. But eventually he did, and boy oh boy did it work with those commander and crossbow with bodkin arrow. Nothing to be done about that from Superhero. And yeah, as you said, maybe we'll look back on it later, but the decision to go for Imperial Age, maybe not the right one. Not sure. It's really hard to take out castles in Castle Age, though. So he probably wants to get Trebs out, but yeah, maybe couldn't afford it at that very moment.
Right. Right. Okay. Let's get back to the map draft and the Civ draft then. So it's a win for Bassai Dai on Nomad, with Persians against Spanish, as you predicted the game one matchup. So okay, so superhero you would expect would go Golden Swamp now, right? Given
Yeah.
that he chose it as his quote home map.
Hmm.
Obviously, worth reiterating, this is something that was missed quite a lot through TG1. Insert read handbook emote here. The loser of the game chooses what map to play. They are not forced into playing their home map. They can choose whichever map is available to them. But you'd assume that you go Golden Swamp. Byzantine seems the absolute locked-in pick for superhero there, and we think it must be Japanese or Bassai, right?
Yeah. No, I think so. I think the thing is though, I always get a little bit nervous against playing against Byzantines on water maps just because the fire ships are so good. On Golden Swamp, it's a little bit less scary than like Kawasan or Four Lakes, where the ponds are tiny. You can't really micro your galleys around. But for Golden Swamp, the water is a bit bigger. So if Basadai wanted to go for galleys, he could do. But nevertheless, his fishing ships have more HP or more armor or something. They're more resilient to attack. As Japanese. So he would probably will play that one. And Noon in the chat saying technically you don't have to play water on Golden Swamp. That's very true. You don't. But if you're not going to play water, you've got to be fairly confident that you can get something done on land before the middle gold becomes too big of an issue. Because if the mid is lost, there's all the gold in the middle of the map that you are forfeiting. So, yeah. If game one's anything to go by, sparks are going to fly in game two. Very excited to see how this one plans out, and yeah, superhero needs to pick up a win here to avoid losing a set suddenly.
And so the thing is that if you don't prioritize water or if you lose water, can you raid enough quickly enough to win the game early enough that losing the gold, running out of the gold in your base doesn't become an issue. We did see in the show match. Am I right in saying that we haven't seen Golden Swamp in a tournament yet?
Well, no, so we saw Wild versus Wimpy Fish show match.
Yeah, so I was going to say about show match, but in the tournament itself,
I don't think so. No.
No, because so in that show match game, I think Wild had the approach of I'll give up water at the start and then just win it back. Didn't factor on Wimpy Fish having Byzantines and the fires being so difficult to overcome. So it'd be really interesting. The thing is that from what I know of Bassai Dai, water isn't a big part of his repertoire. It could be something that he decides to bypass and just try and run around the sides. But if superhero can foresee that and can wall that off, then it could become quite difficult. And also, we have to remember, superhero picked this as his own map. He may well have a strategy prepared, and Basadai might not. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Superhero is an Islands player, Vinny says. So, there you go then. So it certainly plays more into his overall style, and I think that's definitely true. Definitely not true of Bassai Dai. I think he may well choose to go the land route and just give up water potentially.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Will we see man at arms? Will we see Japanese man at arms? That'll be an interesting thing. Man at arms is something that we saw seldom in TG1, right? It very rarely happened in TG1. I think we'll see it a lot more this time around because obviously we've got a much higher concentration of players in around the 1400, 1300 range. who are much more accustomed to not just the man-at-arms build, but the amount of focus that it requires and multitasking early on in feudal. So I think we'll see a lot more of it throughout the tournament. But this seems like a pretty good opportunity to do it if I'm Bassai Dai. Get land, get a bit of map presence early, even if it's necessarily water. Try and get some running pressure in, and we have seen that Superhero has been quite susceptible to quite significant early pressure in some of his games in TG1. You can think back to the set against Vinny, where Vinny opened 3 stable scouts pretty much every game and ran all over him, and won that set 3-0 despite being by far the lower seed. I think back to my semi-final against Superhero in TG1, where I opened Bulgarian man-at-arms archers, and that seemed to surprise him, and I ended up winning that game. So it is definitely a weakness of his. Whether it's something that Bassai's dossier has noted remains to be seen. But I think if I'm Bassai Dai, I think opening man-at-arms is probably a good ploy here.
Yeah, I would quite like to see that. Now, this is a question. Do spearmen get a bonus damage against ships? Or am I completely making that up?
Do you know what? I have a feeling they do. That sounds familiar.
Okay, they
I'll see
do.
if I can
Okay,
find
yeah.
that.
So you
Well,
can go.
yeah.
You can kind of go man-at-arm with a couple of spears, and then into archer. And I reckon that's quite a nice opening for Japanese. As if you're opening against a scout player, but you should be there much quicker because your opponent is going for they die so quick. What, spearmen? Oh, against fire ships they die. Yeah, but against fishing ships they kill the fishing ships. Is what I'm thinking. Sorry. So you just sort of see what damage you can get. Obviously, Superhero can hide the fishing ships in the little ponds on Golden Swamp, which are it's not all walkable. There's little areas you can hide. Maybe that could be quite a nice opening, and yeah, Bassai would just sort of focus heavily on land in that scenario. He wouldn't try to contest a fire ship fight.
I did just see Bassai Dai's reopen the game. And there was some struggles with lag, wasn't there, in the previous games? So we haven't got going just yet. Hopefully they're trying to find a server as a bit more appropriate for the two of them.
Yeah, Bassai Dai said he could still hear fire from the previous game. So really addled his brain. The chaos.
He might be hearing it when he goes to sleep tonight as well.
Yes, I suspect he will. So just restarting, and a new lobby will be made. Yeah, should be getting into this one fairly soon. And we're speculating heavily about Golden Swamp, but of course it still may be Land Madras, but just from a sneak peek in the lobby, I think it will be Golden Swamp that they're going to play.
Is there a second lobby, did you say?
No, just in the previous lobby they had Golden Swamp
Fine.
hovered.
I also don't begrudge them taking a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Not sure what the weather is where Superhero is, but certainly in the UK is quite warm for our standards. And after what was a very intense game one, I would not be surprised at all if I wants a 5-minute breather.
Yeah.
Although I did see in the chat post game that he said he couldn't micro because his hands were so cold, which is an interesting one. Maybe maybe he's not got a very good setup, and maybe he's not quite getting the blood to his hands properly. But yeah. Although as Mol was saying in the chat, perhaps I don't know, but Bassai Dai will routinely have the highest APM of most people in the tournament. He definitely posted some crazy numbers in TG1, but sometimes you don't need to micro. Sometimes just let them do what they want to do, and and they'll do just fine.
I missed a great comment from Tumbleweed. Bassai Dai probably wishes he just TC dropped instead of spending an hour grinding that one out. Oh, I mean, maybe, right? The thing is, it was a pretty awkward spot for Superhero without any gold nearby, and he was right in the corner. It feels like it would have been quite hard for him to run there because you can always chase it with your bills, the Persian bills. So it would have been quite funny, but we did. I'm glad he didn't because we saw an amazing game one. Okay, new lobby code is in, so I'll share that with you.
There you go.
My like streamer mode on Discord is so weird. It puts the first letter of people's names, then dot 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 to I guess protect privacy or something, but it just looks very weird. I don't know who's typing what. But yeah, there we go. Lobby code is up. Golden Swamp again is what they're hovering over, so I suspect that's what we're going to see. And we're thinking Byzantines against Japanese, which would mean Land Madness. We'd have Tatars, presumably, against Franks or Lithuanians for Bassai Dai. So he's got to be quite confident. Even if he does lose this game, Bassai Dai should be fairly confident himself to maybe get a 2-1 victory against his nemesis Superhero.
I think he'll back himself if it comes down to Lad Madness at 1-1. I think he'll back himself to win that. I feel like Superhero has in the past tended towards Archer plays, so it's not inconceivable that he goes Vietnamese in Lad Madness, and it would be, it might not be what Bassai Dai expects as well. So there is that to factor into it, the surprise factor. But yeah, as today, it looks like this one's going to be Golden Swamp. So let's cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yep. And how nice is it to know where your opponent's TC is on Land Madness, actually, just to bring a conversation back to that.
Oh, it's a really good point. We've seen a couple of really strange spawns, haven't we?
Yeah.
In fact, what was the last set that you cast earlier on in the week? That had a Land Madness game.
Yeah, we had
that was
Ali
crazy
Kog
as well.
and Tomid, maybe? Or Emperor Al Hassan versus Eindrin. Yeah, I remember what you mean. Like
Aminadi. It might have been that one.
Aminadi, Aminadi, yeah. Yeah, and they were sort of. It's tough because it's always tough when you're trying to go for a really quick opening. You're trying to push deer, and then before you know it, you're sort of halfway to feed village, finish pushing a deer, and then you have no idea where you're actually going. So it's a really tough balance. So maybe Vietnamese would be quite nice for that. But anyway, as you said, let's focus on that after this one. Hopefully Bassai Dai will join the lobby fairly soon. It'd be nice to keep things going here.
Although if I were you, I'd take the rest when you get it, because this is going to be quite a long stream with the other games that we've got left to come as well.
See Bassai Dai in lobby now. See him hovering Japanese, so not too many surprises there.
You've also put me in quite the spot tonight. I'm meant to be doing OU work, but it's going to be very hard to miss out on the opportunity of live scouting on my group mates.
Well, Nillis, luckily for you, we all put the games on YouTube. So you can watch those there.
Of course.
Having said that, I forgot to start recording for this one, so I think what I can do is get the Twitch highlight and do it that way. But I would definitely put all the sets for this tournament on my YouTube channel, #sellout, and you can watch them even after the 2-week VOD window expires, but of course they'll be on Twitch as VODs for you to watch as well. And yeah, also I want people to clip more. So if you're in the chat right now, please clip the game's interesting moments from the games, and we can have a nice little look back at some of them at the end of the tournament in a couple of months from now. Over some of the
mad at me, Walt, for trying to advertise your YouTube.
I think I allowed it. I think I allowed you now.
Nice.
Come on, guys, let's go. What's happening here? Has the game started for you?
Nope. Now, Superhero has done this before in terms of, sort of going behind early in a set and turning it around. He did that against me. When 1-0 down, we ended up winning at 3-1. Look at Mole being a good
Look
mod.
at that. Look at that. Expert modding. Noon says, I just watched the Nomad game and had to step out. What a game. Yeah, what an amazing game. And this billing living up to the hype for sure. In game 1. Top stuff. And here we go. Game 2. About to kick off. Let's head over to the casting overlay. And it's going to be Golden Swamp. And I think it's also going to be Byzantines against Japanese. The players just loading in. We'll begin very shortly. Here we go. Okay, so Bassai Dai in the blue as Japanese spawns at the top of the map, the north hand side, and we've got a lot of buffalo out on the water for him. Superhero in the green trunks on the bottom south of the map, and he is the Byzantines on Golden Swamp. And we've got one of these kind of bow tie generations of the map. It doesn't always spawn like this, but when the player's town centers are near to the corner of the pond, what they do is they force a radius of land out in front of them, and that kind of eats into the middle, which in turn eats into the middle gold as well, if you see what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And that, in turn, basically all of that means that the middle section of the map with all the gold on becomes very thin and stretched, whereas sometimes it can be more of a blob, smaller and tighter blob. And I guess the result of all of that is that it's easier in this generation, I believe, to control the middle with water than it can be in some of the other generations. Maybe that's not true. I'm not sure. It just changes the dynamic of the map a bit, I feel. But I just think because your gold miners are always so close to the shoreline, I feel like water is more important here. And maybe especially with fire ships, for instance, very short range. They'll be able to range gold hills, whereas sometimes they might not be able to. So, all in all, it's probably good news for Superhero here.
Yeah, I think so. I had another issue with getting into the game, which might repeat game 3. I'll say the details for for later. We'll just debrief on that because that might be useful for future sets. But yeah, just noticing that the Bassai Dai has brought his scout forward very, very quickly, which is interesting. He has shown a tendency for trying to lame in the past. I don't know if that was what the intention was. If it was, then he's missed the obvious spot to scout, which is the front of the base, where the rhinos have a habit of spawning on Golden Swamp with the script. So something to pay attention. He has now found the rhino. He's circling around a little bit, but no, okay. The superhero doing a good job of being aware of that scout and warning in the house fill on the front there. And now he's got docking as well, so that's good work from superhero. Bassai Dai at the moment not choosing to dock, so perhaps what we were talking about earlier coming to fruition now.
Well,
and here we go.
Underway. Yep. And that's good for Bassai Dai. It's not that far, right? It's pretty close. Get there, so you should be able to succeed with this one. Oh, just goes into a corner between the relic and the gold mine there. But I think this will be a successful lame attempt for him.
Superhero's just going to miss it with his scout. He sent the Vil forward to see that it had gone. He brought the scout back to try and find it. Hasn't quite. So I did just take another hit there, but it looks like he's done the job. So there we go. So is that our first lame of TG2? Well,
it is the first lame of TG2 and very well executed by Bassai Dai. Sad face,
don't
sorry.
Apologise.
Well,
don't
you're not that sorry, are you? And now I'm going to push in some deer as well. So, but anyway, this is really, really good. Because as Japanese, what we were talking about earlier is, why not just go for land? And hey, Bassai Dai, he's not built a dock. I think he will be going for land here. And the extra food will be a huge boost to being able to get some man-at-arms out. But Bassai Dai, please don't lose this rhino. Okay, superhero just having a look at it, not deciding to lame it just yet, and Bassai Dai gets away with that one. I think he could have he could have been counter-lamed there quite easily, but superhero not quite picking up on that.
Bassai Dai, don't send your scout chasing after his, because you've already lost a lot of your HP with the lame attempt. That wouldn't be very smart. Just a little hat tip as well to Bassai Dai. He didn't have any other OTC during that period. He had 4 seconds prior to that. He had 2 seconds since when he was trying to bring in the deer. But while pulling off the lame, he did it without any other OTC, which is very, very impressive. So
yeah,
good work.
That is really good stuff. I was going to say where's all this food, but I see where it is now. It's just queued up in villages. Superheroes had 3 fishing ships now. Just got 4. That have been going for a little while, so he's actually got a better food economy despite the lame, because it's sort of more food gatherers for longer, but Bassai Dai's food income will last for a longer time, and he can unqueue some bills now and get up to feudal age if he wants to, but he's not doing so. Okay, yeah, here we go. Yeah, he sorts out his production queue and we'll go to feudal age after this villager completes, but Superhero's nearly there himself. He's only a minute away. And Loom coming in first, which has some time.
These are quite late click ups, right? The 22 vils, 25 vils.
Yeah.
And it means in front of the superhero, he was a rhino down, so I can understand an extra bit or 2 there. Was I going for 25 vils? Does that point for the fast castle? Probably not, because he's not currently on gold, which you would need.
No,
to
I don't think it is.
Barracks is coming down now. So why so late then? Do you think?
I think his sort of focus was so captured by the lame that you can see it. You can see it changed his focus because he didn't build the dock for a very long time. I honestly think he actually made it so late that it might have been an idea just to not bother. Maybe that's too pessimistic of me, but the thing is, your opponent is Byzantines. They're going to build fire ships. Are you actually going to contest water if you're up so late? Probably not. So maybe just save yourself the wood. Your docks aren't cheaper as Japanese, it's only your mining camps and lumber camps and mills. And maybe just save yourself the wood, go for the barracks early and try and get something done. I think he actually could transition this into a fast castle now. And probably should. because he's just going to be so far behind in the feudal age. And here comes the first fire galley before Bassai even reaches feudal age. So yeah, we'll see how this game pans out. But
And the food is definitely there for him to click up. So if he had sent 2 villagers to gold
yeah,
before clicking up, that's a very forward dock for a superhero. I like that.
yeah, it's really good, really good.
Yeah. So it's double HP fishing on the fishing ships. I think you're asking the question earlier.
Ah, yeah,
Exactly
that's
what
right.
it was.
Yeah.
Because the scout was. I mean, he was doing a reasonable amount of damage on Bassai Dai's fish, but just as a proportion of the HP, it just didn't look like it was doing anything whatsoever. But here comes the fire ships now, going to be completely uncontested. Bassai Dai going scouts. Interesting.
Okay, well, Japanese. I always sort of think of Japanese as not aggressive, and I guess they are, but their cavalry line is fine because the only thing they miss is the last armor upgrade. So they're absolutely fine to go for knights with bloodlines in Castle Age and everything. All totally okay. And here they come across. 3 scouts coming across the map now.
Oh, just find that one, Bill. There you go. Nice. Nice
Yeah,
little
good
turnaround.
spot.
I guess we might lose the scouts though because you lost one at least because it was very low on HP after the lame attempt.
After the lame, yeah. 7 scouts in the queue. Bassai has to just realise how much food he's got banked up. Because I think he could find himself in a position where Castle Age is not too far away if he unqueues some scouts. Yeah. But yeah, maybe he's doing the right thing. Making a lot of scouts is a good idea because he can harass superheroes' economy at home on land.
I absolutely love that you split the scouts up as well. I know he probably shouldn't do it because they're not that strong a unit and they're quite weak, especially to spears. But he was able to pick off a bit of fishing ship HP in the middle by doing that, which is quite handy. But he's in a bit of a corner now with his spears chasing him.
Well, to escape that with 2 scouts still alive. And he's done well just to keep them running around. As I say that, one does fall. But the seas are ruled by superhero as Byzantines right now. He has complete control of that. There's not too much fish on Golden Swamp. It's not a crazy amount of fish. So
yeah, the value in water is the middle. It's
yeah,
not
it's the map control, not
the food eco really.
But that map control is obviously still very important. And let's have a quick look at the res counts now. Bassai Dai has done a much better job. In fact, there's no farms for superhero. But Bassai Dai's farming economy is looking really good. And that means that he's looking in a much stronger position to be the first one up to Castle Age. He has a market as well now, so he can buy 100 food. And yeah, I think he's thinking about that quite a lot and is nearly going to get there himself. But what can he do when he hasn't got the map control? Is that going to be a problem for him?
Well, I mean, it might be, but this is a line that Cappy used, which I love. Attention being the 5th resource. He's lost his scouts there though, which is a shame. If he had been able to use his APM to just run around and just be an absolute pain for a superhero, as Bassai Dai does now click up. So that's not going to be it's a pretty good time, to be fair.
Ooh, and superhero follows suit right away.
In fact, superhero is actually ahead because it was behind a veil that was finishing.
Ah, wow.
Bassai Dai. So superhero will actually beat him to Castle Age despite actually hitting the button a little bit later.
That's really impressive from both, actually. 18-minute click up, like fair play. That seems pretty quick.
Especially with the
coming
superhero missing out on a rhino and not really farming either. And the fishing eco at this stage is very inefficient. So yeah, that's a really strong effort indeed. And he's pretty much now full walled. So he's got water. He's not in an immediate danger on land either. So it's a really good situation for superhero right now.
Yeah. And it was looking. I don't know. I thought Bassai Dai was in a great spot, but suddenly now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about these demo ships. I think superheroes should be making the archers. rather than demos. um, but yeah, he has the chance now to get a really good attack on Bassai Dai in the Castle Age, the early Castle Age, because Bassai Dai is not walled, and Superhero has, well, I was going to say he's going for crossbow, but he's actually going for scale wilding armor now, so I'm a bit confused about that. Byzantines don't get bloodlines. He could be going for camels, I guess, but seems unusual for him to do that. Oh, a nice quick wall from Bassai on that gold. Castle Age for both. Forging comes in for Bassai for the scout, for the knights, and camels indeed. Okay, so Superhero going to go for the camels and Byzantines. But Bassai's Japanese, he can always switch into archers of his own. So, crossbow may be a better play. He has got 7 archers, of course.
Bassai Dai going straight into adding eco at the back.
Yeah.
He's going on to the stone now, which is interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting call from Superhero to go straight into camels. I guess, you know, as we get spears being picked off by the knights at the front of the base there, those spears aren't going to do too much damage there. But yeah, opening camels is interesting. I guess there was a stable because he went scout, so maybe just made the deduction that he would go knights, but it's not necessarily what Japanese are known for. So it's
no.
And in the end, this proves to be a good decision.
But also, camels don't really. Camels are great at killing knights, but that's all they're good at killing. Whereas crossbows can kill vills as well. But yeah, I'm not sure.
We're going to lose our archers there. That's we're going to retreat them down to the fire ships, so nice have to run away. And I think actually he might not have. He did lose one on the retreat, so that wasn't too bad for.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, it's a demo. Okay.
Oh.
Nice to try there, but the demo, yeah, the demo's not crazy good against knights. Against an archer mass, it's obviously really, really strong. Maybe that's why he went for demos, because he thought Bassai was going to go for archers. But a monk, again, from Superhero, has been so good with the conversions this set so far. Does have a monk ready to convert that knight.
Tell me it's a superhero game without telling me it's a superhero game. Is there a monk on the field? Yes.
He's been one of the better players at using the monks well. He only picked up 1 relic last game, but obviously that's very chaotic. Hopefully for him he can pick up another one. Looks like this monk is on its way. Pick up that relic now. And well, the army leads heavily in favour of Superhero, but the knights is a lot of water and archers and stuff, so it's actually not quite as big as a lead as it looks, but I think it will grow and grow because Bassai Dai seems intent on just.
And in comes the demo on the knight as well, so we got another boom. Not massively satisfying, but we love to see demos, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Good fun.
I think there'll be some great demos throughout this tournament. On this map, for sure. And, well, the game has definitely calmed down a little bit here. So most players just taking a chance to breathe, and thing is, yeah, for Superhero with these camels and fire ships, like, he can't really get too much done killing villagers wise. But fire ships can be so annoying taking out these forward buildings, actually. And like the map control is just huge. I'd love to see him get a TC or a castle up in the middle of the map. He is mining stone, so that could be his next play. So that's stable, does.
It's hard to see what Bassai Dai is shooting for at this point. We've swapped over to archers now.
Yeah.
As you can see, and he's adding a third TC at the back, but I think this might just be a boom into him, but is that what he wants to do against Biz?
Not sure.
They just become harder to kill the longer the game goes, right?
Yeah, kind of, but I think I'd rather be Japanese. Well, okay, if it goes ultra late when there's no when it's trash only, obviously Byzantine's really good. but I think I'd rather be Japanese in early Imp. I just feel like their Treb Arbalest push will be quite hard to stop. I don't know, but maybe yeah. With the full map control and with all the goals there, Superhero's position is looking quite good right now.
The thing with Golden Swamp though is obviously you do want to try. Oh, that's a interesting castle placement for.
I think it's good. I like it.
Down the north side of where the gold is, but there's still so much gold at home for Bassai Dai that it's not a death sentence for his game whatsoever. The fact that he's given that map control in a way he has. These camels are just not quite going to see this last little wall off attempt for Bassai Dai, although he might do now actually as they start moving forward.
I think he clicked them in and they went the first path they could. So
yeah,
they're going round to that stable where the stable died. Yep. So he will be able to deduce that there's no wall off there, and well, they actually got to focus on them for a second. They have to run away now. Bassai ahead in build count, and the army numbers equalising themselves a bit, but Superhero strikes first in the race to him. He has clicked up Imperial Age, and it's cheaper with Byzantines as well.
Way to run in with the camels and get a bit of damage. It's no. Bassai Dai says no. He's going to try and re-wall with the gate as well. Crossbow are going to clear out the last couple of camels. That's a little bit from Superhero, but I don't know. Perhaps he saw them as expendable.
Yeah, I think he's given up on the camels. I mean, they're only good against knights, and Bassai's not going knights, so. Oh my god, this is a huge bump for the demos, though! Jeez, okay, good shots from Bassai. He focuses on those.
Spotted.
Yeah. Get the monk as well.
It's going to come forward and see the castle.
Yep. And the fire ships, they do not take much damage from archers. So Bassai has to be careful here. But they also aren't taking too much damage in return as they safely evacuate the sea. And some nice volleys off there. Ballistics are going to say, yeah, ballistics would be a huge upgrade for him, but I think Bassai Dai is a little bit... I think he will be surprised by the imp timing based on the way he's playing right now. I don't think he knows that Superhero is about to be imp and is about to start trebbing his entire base down. And that could be really detrimental to his game, obviously. So, yeah. We'll see if he can hold here. He'll have to, as soon as imp comes in, he'll have to realise that quickly and try and get, a lot more farms down would be a good start. But get up to imp himself and get a castle down so he can start tripping back. Here comes imp for Superhero. And Dromon, let's go! The new ship being built. And stone walls across the map from Superhero. This is what Wimpyfish did in his show match against Wild, but I don't think it'll be successful as this
I can see that though. The units aren't attacking, which is interesting. There's surely... There you go, now they are.
Just on the edge of the range.
Must have been on stand ground, maybe. He didn't follow the unit either. But there's a mangonel that's going to try and track that down now and stop that. Superhero's up to 3 relics. He won't get to 5 in a moment because one of them's snug in Bassai Dai's base, the other one's just outside of his fog of war. Bassai Dai does quite well actually, so
that's really nice mangonel. Yeah. There's one relic. Demolition ships now, but still. Unable to take him out, and Bassai Dai has the res for imp, but does he have 2 buildings? I know he has a university to go ballistics, but... And
here comes the forward castle from Superhero. However, in this occasion, he's very well ahead in this game.
Yep.
So I really like that, and that's really putting the, sort of twisting the knife a little bit into Bassai Dai. He was going defensive castle himself. And has the res for imp and the buildings. So
no, he doesn't have buildings. Oh, he has the siege workshop. Yeah. Oh, Bassai Dai, you gotta click it. Yeah, there we go.
We
too late.
we wait until we're pop capped to do it. Oh, demo on the
Oh,
crossbows on the right. That's what we're here to see.
I just missed it, I think. I came as they were all exploding. So was it a demo ship?
Yes, it was. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I've got to be so careful with that. And the stone wall, that's why the stone walls come into play. Because you can't run around the side, you have to go through the middle. So demo's a really nice play from Superhero, and yeah, this is really a good home map for him, it looks like. He knows what he's doing, and Bassai Dai has not been able to keep up with the pace of this game. Dromon's now taking out all of the gold on the shoreline, and GG is gold.
GG. Yeah, that
That was
was very
quite clinical.
Very
Yeah.
clinical from Superhero. He's much closer to his comfort zone, being someone that enjoys water play and boating, as Vinny was saying earlier on in the chat.
hmm
Came in with a plan. I mean, Byzantines are the top rates for this map, obviously, which helps. And yeah, I think it would have been nice. I think it would have been nice to see Bassai Dai open with Man at Arms there, with Japanese. That it would have been very interesting to see where the game went from there. If he was able to keep Superhero open with that, and then follow up with Archers behind, could have been a very different game. But as it was, Superhero to the lead quite early, and yeah, never really looked back despite losing the Rhino to the lane early on.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. And he did so well to cope with that lane. Like, it can really throw you off, but I think it threw Bassai Dai off a little bit as well. I've noticed that when Bassai Dai is laming, he's clicking his scout constantly. So I think what he did was he just was spamming the scout and queuing up fills in his TC. But you actually you don't have to micro it that much. There's a balance there. Obviously, under microing it is what most people do, and you lose the scout. But over microing it is a problem too. And it made him forget about the dark and the barracks a bit late, and he didn't get up to feudal age like at the right time, and it kind of did more harm than good, honestly.
And the
I'm
other
not sure.
thing is that it strikes me as being potentially premeditated, because I did notice that the scout came forward very quickly. It wasn't without finding his resources, has to be said. He did do all that, but he went forward very quickly. But he didn't. He looped around. I think he was maybe the thinking behind that was, well, if I don't find it at the front to begin with, I might find it on the loop round, see that it's at the back and it's not really feasible, and so I don't need to worry about it. By the time
Mm.
he's then looped around and found they actually are at the front, it's a good deal
Yeah.
later in Dark Age. I think if you, I imagine he probably did that having looked at the spawns quite a lot in the scenario editor or something like that, and
hmm
thought, well, they often spawn at the front, so just scout the front. Just
Just
do
go for the front.
a
Yeah.
zigzag there and go straight for it. I think that's probably something the Bassai Dai might think about in the future. But obviously his group mates will know now that that's something that Bassai Dai will look for, and maybe counter it by either just banning the map or going and collecting the rhinos very quickly, which I think is a very underrated move on this map, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so. And yeah, Bassai Dai is definitely one of the most lame. He's most comfortable laming, and it is a skill. It is a skill to be able to lame well. So it's good for him that he can do that. Byzantines took the victory against Japanese, and it's poised here 1-1. The winner of the next game will be the winner of the set as a whole. And it's Bassai Dai's chance to win a set against Superhero, and he's got to be happy with the map that he's picked himself. Land Madness, one of his home maps, sort of comfort maps here. And he has the Sibs at his disposal that he could only dream of. Franks and Lithuanians, again, favourite picks for him. Against Vietnamese or Tatars. Yeah.
So I think based on what we've seen from Bassai Dai, I think he goes Franks. I think he's just more comfortable with that Civ. We know that he prefers his comfort picks quite rightly, and nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So I feel more confident that Bassai Dai will go with Franks over Lithuanians than I am on what superheroes pick is going to be. I think Tatars seems to be the more slightly more obvious play for La Manas in the map.
Yeah.
But I mean, Vietnamese get bloodlines as well. I think so. That they're not going to be an awful civ to open scouts with, and then you can transition into their power unit in the Rattan Archer later on. So yeah, an interesting one. Where do you land on that? What do you think?
Well, what's the benefit of Tatars? So when you build a town centre, you get the 2 sheep, which is actually quite a nice bonus.
Yeah, well, so you don't get the hill bonus at La Madness because there aren't any.
There's no
Really.
hills. Okay.
There definitely are little pockets of slopes, you'd call them, but it's not like Arabia where there's hills everywhere. So,
I quite like step lances on this map.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
I don't know. Mole seemed to think they were quite good in the chat earlier, so I'd love to see why he said that. I mean, other than the fact that they're just a solid cavalry civ, and obviously their Imperial Age Hussar play is really strong. Like almost second to none, I'd say. I'm not quite sure. There's obviously some other good ones, but the Steppe Husbandry upgrade, I think it is a really nice one. Oh, okay. Looks like we had a game for a moment, but something must have happened to it. Oh, is this what you were having? Where it just ends?
I don't have a lobby code, by the way.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, so just very quickly, when I'm getting the lobby codes, I'm joining the lobby. It's not asking me to download the user-generated content for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know why it isn't. And so what happens is that when the game eventually loads, it realizes too late that there's user-generated content and it doesn't like it. And kicks me out.
Okay.
And so I need to rejoin. When I rejoin, it then asks me to download the content, and it's fine, which is what it's done here. So on this occasion, I should be able to get in straight away. It shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, that's just something to bear in mind with your fellow co-casters in the future. I'm not sure what the workaround for that is. I think it might just be a timing thing of when the invite gets sent, essentially.
Yeah, I think it is. Okay, no worries. Well, we are into game 3 now. The final deciding game between these two, Bassai Dai and Superhero. Been a very good set so far. Chaotic game 1, clinical game 2. And let's see what adjective we can attribute to game number 3. We've got a pause early on.
Preferably one with a C, so that we can
maintain
that.
The alliteration.
Yeah, I can't think of one that comes to mind. I mean, there's... Yeah, I've got charismatic in my head, and you're going to do well to use that to describe an Age of Empires 2 game.
Copium?
But for whom?
But for whom? Well, we'll see. So Franks for Bassai Dai in the bottom of the map. Superhero is the Tatars in the top of the map. We were speculating about the potential benefit of having to be able to see where your opponent spawns with Vietnamese, but I guess Superhero decided against that, and obviously Tatars a nice cav civ. Maybe that's a bit more of a traditional pick there for them. So, don't see any reason why you wouldn't play that. They haven't said anything in the in-game chat that I can see.
So yeah, so they have. Capture Age doesn't show it until you unpause, which is a bit silly. But Superhero asking about map problem potentially. I mean, the only thing I can think of is he sent 2 Vills of Straggler straight away because his wood spawned so far away, which is just...
I can't see this chat.
Which is very unfortunate, but it's... I don't think that's worthy of a re. I'm not
sure. Is he asking for an admin re?
Not from what
Oh,
I
he's
can
in chat now.
see. He's in chat now,
Oh,
so
super.
perhaps.
You're not having admin for this one. Sorry. Please continue. And don't look at Bassai Dai's map, please. Yeah. I don't think it's bugged. I think it's just bad.
Yes.
Yeah, but just be careful about joining the stream because obviously you can see your opponent's pace. So never mind. I think it's fine. Yeah, hopefully they'll carry on soon. But yeah, I mean, I think Bassai Dai's map is obviously much better here. Looks like it. The wood lines, at least. But Superhero has got a wood which is a bit closer than the one that he scouted with that sheep. Yeah. But he's going to go for the backwood, which is fine.
Yeah. And what is in his favour is he's got another much more backwood right in the north corner.
Yeah,
which,
true.
You know, Bassai Dai might never think to look there. So that might play into his favour a little bit later on.
Bassai Dai picking up his first port. He has 3 bills on wood. And I suspect he will be going for a scout build.
Of course, his first and only boar, unless he decides to go laming this time. There's only one boar.
That's
on
true.
Land Madness. Superhero has managed to avoid the lame this time because he's brought the boar in good time, so that's good. But yeah, obviously a characteristic of the Land Madness map is, with it being so open, it's very scout friendly. But what the devs have done to help nerf that a little bit is take away one of your boars. So you've got a little bit less food when you get up to food age, and you can't necessarily pull off a crazy fast 18 pot build with a lot of ease. And also
yeah, I wonder actually. Yeah,
you've got lots of little pockets of deer, but one is pushable range and the rest kind of isn't. So, although again, actually, Superhero is quite unfortunate with the deer just near him. There's only really one good patch that's quite close to him.
Yeah, I mean, is this? Do you think it should be an admin? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I think it's unfortunate. I think by
there's nothing bugged about the map. It's just pretty crap.
yeah, it just sucks. Yeah.
Bassai Dai's actually found another patch of 4 deer, and he's going to start pushing those as well. So he'll be in a good spot here with the amount of food income he has. He's got 3 more bills in the queue and 17 bills total.
But again, this comes back to what you were saying earlier on, isn't it? It's okay, but push in the second deer patch, greedy, but you haven't found your opponent yet. Which so you're going to have all that food and nothing to do it with, nothing to use it on. So.
Ooh, and something else I noticed with Bassai Dai, he has 50 gold in the bank. So maybe Loom was just queued. Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't have to get it. He wasn't housed or anything. Didn't have to get it early. Yeah. And he's queuing up more bills behind us. No, Bassai Dai, go up to Feudal Age. Don't. Yeah, there we go. Good. Feudal Age on the way. After Loom comes in. Superhero also will get Feudal Age after Loom comes in, I suspect, as well. I think he's got enough food in his villages. Arms, there we go. 499, 510. There we go. Both players up pretty similar times, but Superhero with a bit more idle time. Yep, a little bit later.
Yeah.
Okay, Bassai Dai pushing in one more deer.
Yes. Yeah. Please now come forward with the scout, Bassai Dai. That is what I would do.
No, there's no way. That's so greedy. Also, he's got a forage push under his TC, which for Franks is a little bit quicker. They are getting nerfed next patch, actually, Franks. So, last chance to get the 15% or whatever it is forage bonus.
Oh, are they losing the bonus altogether?
They're making it 10%, which is
I see.
kind of dumb. People are saying it's kind of dumb, and I kind of agree because 10% faster foraging is like, I actually gonna notice that. Not really. So just remove it and make it something, give him a different bonus which is less powerful. I don't know. Okay, Bassai has no intention of finding his opponent. Feudalate is about to come in. One more deer being pushed. Gonna have a ton of food in the bank, but there's a stable being produced. Okay, and now surely Bassai Dai will have a look. Oh, he finds the scout from Superhero actually, which is quite a nice find. Oh, but there's a hill there. And Feudalate comes in such a good time for Superhero. Go to the hill. Yes. Okay, there we go. And we'll be able to
sheep as well.
Yeah, pounds and sheep. Helping Bassai Dai scout his sheep.
Perhaps that's why. Yeah, I missed that. Perhaps that's why he felt the need to go so heavy on the deer because he didn't find those 2 sheep. But then I guess you just do a slightly better job of scouting around your base, and then it's less of a problem. The Superhero gets his stable up, and isn't yet producing any scouts where Bassai Dai is. Bassai Dai taking a little bit of a lead there.
But he has got 1 spearman now, which is a really nice play from him. Superhero does that quite a lot, and he's quite good at that. Making a spearman early against a scout build is always super good, super powerful opening. And Bassai Dai loses the
scout. Yeah.
But
he
the
does
way
take
boy
2
that he
sheep
is
for his trouble.
Takes the sheep. I think Superhero can find those if he sends a scout after them.
Yes, there you go.
They're in hot pursuit.
Superhero deciding to go 2 lumberjamps on that 1 wood line. He's managed to wall in one of them, not the second one just yet. Bassai Dai only has 5 on wood though, so I guess that's the benefit of taking all those deer, is that you don't need to go to farms as quickly as heavily. But yeah, he's now up to 9 on wood with some of the stragglers. As we might finally get some scouts meeting and exchanging greetings.
Yep. But it is 3 scouts to 2. There are some bumps, little lumps and bumps in the terrain, like you mentioned. And the Tatar Hill bonus could go into play on those. Hero's struggling to keep his scouts producing, and this is where the insane amount of food that Bassai Dai pushed under his TC is coming into fruition, because look, he's got 3 scouts and 4 vills in the queue. So he's doing fine for food, and Franks obviously as well have the free farm upgrades. So he has horse colour, Bassai Dai, but Superhero does not. So his farms are even better.
But the only thing now is that Superhero has done a good job in warming up that second lumber camp as well. So Bassai Dai's got scouts, he's got the army advantage, he's probably not going to really find any damage with them. There we go, we'll pick off 1 vill though, that's pretty opportunistic.
Really good, really good. And the farm vills are, they're a big target, because... Oh, and that's farm is another nice pick off from Bassai Dai.
Yeah.
Like, the vills aren't actually that safe. When you're two farm tiles, the second layer of farms around TC, the vills are quite far away from the town centre, so they can't run there, they can't run back in time. So if the scouts get a surround on them, they're really in quite some trouble, and Bassai Dai is marauding around with these scouts and finds another vill pick on this mill, I just think. Yep, that one goes down. Done such a good job of this. And the early greed with deer pushing is really making a big difference here.
And this is what we were talking about earlier on, right? This is where Bassai Dai is really comfortable. Oh, he still hadn't quite walled up that other side, so 1 more Superhero vill will go down. That's now 3. He's got good enough numbers. He can take on these spears, I think, can't he?
Well, he can, but I don't know whether he should. I think I'd much rather have however many scouts and 2 spearmen alive for my opponent than lose 5 scouts, whatever he did there.
Yeah, I think if he had like 2 more that was already created that were on the way over, then yeah, I think that's a good fight to take. But you've now.
Is there a hole near this at the wood line? The top right hand side of the wood line.
I think there might be, you know, because yeah, I can't see a fell tree behind it. It's hard to see, but I think there probably is. Bassai Dai hasn't spotted it though, and he's retreating now with his 3 scouts, which is probably a good decision. I mean, he hadn't fully scouted that wood line was there really.
No.
Bassai Dai, so he's not in a position to take advantage of it, even if there is a hole. But
But
yeah,
meanwhile,
good work from.
Sorry.
I was going to say, good work. Just continuing to run around with them. Just be a pain,
Yeah.
be a nuisance. Just take up attention and put superhero under pressure, even if there's not much risk of massive damage.
Yep, definitely. And meanwhile, Subiru had 4 scouts, which were sitting near Bassai Dai's mill, and they were sort of sitting around, not doing anything. He targeted them in, and Bassai has those 3 spearmen near his gold, and they all died to the spearmen. So great effort from Bassai Dai there to repel the attacks at his base and also be on the offensive at the front, and it's translating into the Eco KD 4-0 for Bassai Dai. It's good to see the players chatting with each other during the game, but Bassai Dai is the first one up to Castle Age.
Yeah. Superhero shouldn't be too far behind because he's got 23 on 3, which is more than enough. Does need to start sending a few more villagers to gold. Yeah, that's going to be the thing that slows him down. But and so this is the thing now is Bassai Dai is going to be up potentially up to Castle Age before Superhero's even clicked actually at this rate. So how much damage can you get done with those knights? You want to invest in armor, I think, though.
Well, he sells the stone.
Bassai Dai. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there comes the first armor in for Bassai Dai, because I think, unless you find a hole in the mid line, although it looks like he might have walled it up now potentially. I'm not sure actually. That might still be open, at the top of Superhero's wood line.
It's hard to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks open to me, but I can't quite tell.
Oh, the Superhero hasn't got a blacksmith. He's just rushing that up now, so that's not going to be ideal for him. So yeah, can Bassai Dai get a decent number of knights out, maybe give them +2 on armor, and get them running around picking vills underneath the TC? That's going to be the critical thing for where the momentum of this game goes as they make their way into castle.
That's right, and I think the bad news for Superhero is that, well, the good news is he's playing a super with camels. That does. But I think he will have to make camels, and you never really want to, like, camels. They're just not that powerful a unit. You'd much rather be a knight player than a camel player, I think, because the knights can kill vills and the camels can't really. They just don't have that punch. But because of the uptimes, normally when we see a camel player going up, we say, "Oh, make some knights until your opponent is in Castle Age, and then you can start making camels as a defense." But this is not the situation we're in here. Superhero is in Castle Age only now, or in 10 seconds time, and he'll have to make camels from the bat, like straight off the bat. And yeah, Bassai Dai, he recognises the situation. He's just going to go straight across the map with 2 knights, and the time is now for him to be a nuisance. And again, Monastery, it's the best defense. If you can confident in your monk micro, as Superhero clearly is, the Monastery is a really good defense against these rank knights.
So, Bassai Dai's gone straight to 3 CCs. Well, when he propped down the foundations, I wasn't sure if I liked that. I thought, no, you've got your advantage. You're up to castle quicker. Spam out a bunch of Frank Knights with 3 bloodlines essentially. Get running around and get doing the damage, and then add your CCs. That's fine, but go and get the damage first. It looks like because of the monastery play, the camels, the knights might not get much done. So actually, in the end, it might be the second and third TC probably the right play.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, it is really easy for Superhero to because camels build quicker, right? That's the thing. Camels produce faster than knights. So despite the fact that he was up later, he has got comparable. Well, actually, I say he's got comparable numbers. He does not at all have comparable numbers. Only got 3 to 8. But the monastery, the monk as well, and those few spearmen, like he does have enough to rebuff this. So maybe it was a good decision for him to go 3
How about
TC.
this though from Bassai Dai? I love that he's looping the knights around to the back. First of all, that's just pretty good strategy anyway.
Yeah.
But what I love about that is it's not going to allow the superhero to see the forward barracks being put up.
Yeah, so he's going to go for pikemen. There we go. To support his attack, and that is a really good move. I think you go pike, knight, mangonel. And that would kill the buildings from superhero and protect the siege and protect your knights with the pikemen. So
That's
good
a
play.
lot to go for when you're also on 3TC day.
It is, yeah, it is. I
That's
don't
my
think.
only concern with that.
Yeah. And look, if he hadn't built the 2 TCs, he could have a castle as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, having said that, it doesn't really matter. He's got nearly enough stone for a castle already, and I'm sure he'll plop that down on superhero's face. He needs the pikemen out to be able to defend that. Another barracks comes forward. Yep, here come the Vills, ready to make the castle. They're coming all the way from Bassai Dai's home. And Bassai Dai, being a bit sneaky, showing no worries about that ball of camels and the monks. He runs in and snipes some Vills.
Damage as well.
Yeah.
It took such a long time for superhero to react. The villagers under the TC didn't garrison. I think there was 3 pickoffs there, just like that. And here comes the forward castle.
Well, the monks are around, and camels too, but there's quite a few pikemen now, and that's going to be annoying for superhero to deal with. Runs the knights back, the pikes go forward. But here come the camels swooping in.
There you go.
I think he has committed enough fills to get this castle up. And it's a really annoying castle as well, because that's superhero's main gold patch. He has got one further back of his base that he can take. Yeah, has to evacuate now. Some good conversions coming in, but only on this pikeman there. The knight gets converted too, and monk falls. Bassai Dai looking really strong in this game.
Yeah, the castle goes up. That's going to deny that TC, deny that gold as well. So all those villagers that were there have now gone back into a relatively safe stone towards the back of the base. But it's only safe in so much as it's kind of out of sight. I think if Bassai Dai finds it, that's going to be a lot of dead villagers.
24 vills on stone. I got to move some of those off.
Especially because some of them can't actually work because it's only a 3-tile stone, so it's not really enough footprint there for that many. But we have some step lancers, so you have your wish, Walt.
Yeah, I think they could be good. They're obviously not as good as knights in a 1v1, but a mixture of step lancer and camel I think should be really strong against spearman knight. Maybe not, we'll see how that goes, but I feel like step lancers kill spearmen quite well just because of the pathing. But obviously not in these numbers. Bassai Dai has enough stone for another castle, because he's the Franks. He could drop that on the hill where his spearmen are, and there's that mill there. He could just control that side of the map with the castle. And there's not much that Severo can do right now to stop him putting a castle wherever he likes.
Yeah.
Neither player with any military in their production queue.
Yeah, so that's the problem, right? Is that Bassai Dai has kind of gone for it all at the same time. He's had 15 minutes of idle TC, despite the third TC going up almost instantly, really, when he hit castle. And now he's started to produce some villagers, but he's still not producing villagers out of all at the same time, while also not producing any military. So he's just not able to really generate enough momentum to keep doing damage. He's going to send some knights into that top wood line, which again, superhero hasn't seen just yet.
Oh yeah, well I was looking at the superhero is focusing on the bottom of the map. I've not been looking there very much all game because not much has been happening, but he was microing a step lancer around in Bassai Dai's base, but at his own peril because he's just lost his entire wood economy and now garrisoned to TC. But that's so costly for him. 27 to 0 eco KD. That is enormous.
Which is the exact eco difference, despite Bassai Dai not having full production out of his 3 CCs for as long as he's had all that idle CC. that is a difference in builds, is just the amount he's been able to run around with these knights and do so much damage with. That TC's now gone down underneath the castle, so if he feels a bit frisky, Big Bassai Dai might try and take that gold.
Yeah, true. I think, yeah, I was going to say, I think he's thinking about Imp and, well, Imperial Age is on the way. He is in a very comfortable position. This is Bassai Dai's dream game scenario. You like, build 3 town centres, just get the knights out and cause some havoc, micro them really, really well, and get up to Imp and start trebbing. And it's what he tried to do on Nomad. Obviously that was a much more chaotic game in the way it finished, but the game plan was pretty much the same. And Wheelbarrow coming in now as well for him, so he's thinking about his economy. The farm placement, Huggy's not too happy with those. So just focus on them a bit more.
I think the thing with Bassai Dai, we've seen this in 1 or 2 games actually, where he's got himself a nice lead, and he's just not put the foot on the throttle enough, quickly enough to win the game. I worry that there's no, at the moment there's nothing to say that that's actually going to happen, but as he loses a knight to a conversion there, so Superhero continues his streak of getting conversions in every game pretty much.
Well, he's very heavy on the pikes, which I guess is fine. He's going to pike Treb. I don't know how Superhero is going to stop that, but Superhero's going to go to Imp himself. A couple more food comes in, there we go. And Masonry, really, really nice to see that from Bassai Dai. Masonry is a huge upgrade in a Treb war, which presumably will happen at some point this game. His castle will be in a better position.
Nice little pick off on a lone knight there for Superhero. If he gets a few more of those, that'll be good. We're sending another little group forward of villagers for Bassai Dai.
Yeah, where are they headed?
What are they gonna do?
Feel like the calm before the storm here. Both players jostling for position as we head to the Imperial Age. I mean, Bassai Dai is Franks and has 1 knight on the field. It isn't making any more. So you can see that he's clearly focusing on the kind of pike Treb push rather than the raiding approach. He likes that sort of slow burn, inevitable sort of force approach rather than constant harassment around the map.
It would have been good to see another castle from Bassai Dai. He's had the stone flat for a long time. Where is that Treb going?
He's attacking the TC, I think. That is the Imp TC, but there's no way Imp is denied. Thanks for the follow. As we see, that Treb does fall, but all the camels fall with it. And the army numbers now really, really in favour of Bassai Dai. I think he has to just place the castle now. Chemistry, okay, nice upgrade. Franks do get bomber cannon. I could go for some of those as well, but yeah, just go for the Trebs. And I'm sure that'll result in a good victory for Bassai Dai in this one. He's looking really strong. He's overcome adversity in this set, and overcome adversity against his nemesis Superhero. He's looking good for a 2-1 victory in this set, but has to close it out now. Camel Archers from Superhero is the play. Cavalry Archers, sorry, not Camel Archers. And it could be quite a nice switch actually against an opponent who's full pikeman.
Yeah,
could be quite nice. But and it's got Bug Arrow as well. Okay.
And the Tassars, they get free thumb ring and free pattern tactics. Is that right? Or am I confusing them?
Yeah, they get free thumb ring. I'm not sure about party and tactics. They might have had that one removed. But they have to get free thumb ring. So their cavalry archers, are just a bit better than normal straight off the bat. They don't need any upgrade, which, well, Zero couldn't afford thumb ring now anyway. Ooh, Bassai Dai targeted Treb with his Treb there. Doesn't get a hit on that one. And this is the thing, like Bassai Dai, yeah, okay, I was gonna say, just get some knights out. Like, this is, play to your Civ strengths. The other Franks, go for knights, you know? And he's queuing them up now. And I think get Cavalier and the last armor upgrade and just roll through these. Like, all the pikemen have died now to these cav archers. So a bit of indecision there from Bassai Dai. a little bit too slow to push, and that's exactly what you were talking about. Masonry is coming into play here because the castle's under attack. Both players preparing their trebs and their castle.
Bassai Dai selling some food. He's only got 7 gold miners. There's plenty of gold around, so he'll do well to just start extracting from some of those mines. And if we are switching back into knights, once we get the gold income back up, let's have a 3rd, 4th, 5th stable as well, so we can sustain a push much quicker.
Definitely. I think we don't need 33 on wood at all. He's going for a lot of trebs and bombard cannons, which I understand, but yeah, definitely needs some more fills on gold for Bassai Dai. And as that this takes its time to come into fruition, the Cav Archer numbers from Superhero are building up and up and up. And we all know what can happen when Cav Archers come into play. And they're also a good pick against Franks, right? Because Frankish skirmishers don't get Bracer, and they don't get Last Armor either, which means they are especially weak to Cav Archers, and the only way they can really counter Cav Archers is with Scorpions, I guess, or just overwhelming numbers of their own Cavalier and Paladin, or just cavalry in some form or another. But if Superhero can keep a mass alive, it could be really good, and he's doing a really, really good job of trimming down this TC. There's this TC, this castle. It's 1 hit away, or a couple hits away. There we go. The castle falls.
Bassai Dai just bought 100 stone to try and continue the repairs as well, but that has gone to waste. And where Bassai Dai was struggling there was his gather point was set too far forward. His knights just kept trickling in one by one underneath the castle into Cav Archer fire, and there was a lot of military Bassai Dai that went down without any value whatsoever, and suddenly, having been in a really good position, it's Superhero is held and is starting to push Bassai Dai back now.
Yep, definitely. And this bombard cannon is also a risk for Bassai Dai. It falls, the trebs are falling. Okay, again, panic archery ranges coming up, and skirms is the play, but this is so not what we want to do as Franks. He now does not want to be in this position. And for Superhero, what I really like what he's done, he's not gone for heavy Cav Archer. You don't need it. It's absolutely fine to go for normal Cav Archers. It's such an expensive upgrade. You just need the numbers. And especially against your opponent, who hasn't got Last Armor on their Knights, or and hasn't got a Cavalier upgrade, it's not like you're fighting against Paladin. So Superhero's done a great job of prioritizing army numbers over army upgrades against his opponent here, and it's meant that he's pushed back this bit. His treb's packing up and they're going to move forward. And yeah, it's looking quite tough now for Bassai Dai to hold this off. Again, the skirmishers for Bassai Dai. Okay, he's got elite skirm now, but it's only fletching in. I think I'd love to see some armor upgrades for the Cav Archers. But yeah, these skirms are made of paper. 35 HP, and yeah, just very little armor against these Cav Archers.
Yeah, this is a critical point in the game now. Can Bassai Dai just sort of stabilise? Can he just get his thoughts together? He's going very heavy into skirm, blocking this coming in, so we're doing a slightly better job of the upgrades this time round. But you know, what he really needs to do is he really needs to find some more gold. He's only still had 7 or 8 villagers on gold that entire time. He does see quite a few gold piles in his scouting. He does have access to them as long as he gets there before Superhero just pushes forward. Yeah. So I think it's really important that Bassai Dai finds that, because at the moment he's not got anywhere near enough to generate an army that is going to actually push Superhero if he can clear it up with the skirmishes, by the way.
He's 70 bills on wood. If you have, like, he has enough res to click Paladin as well. I think he's definitely ahead in this game, but it's a bit of a nomad situation again here. He just needs to find the clinical punch to close it out. And for Superhero, what I'd love to see from Superhero is a couple of stables here. I'm sort of gesturing near the relic at the west of the map, the bottom west of the map.
Yeah, yeah.
Have set some stables there and just gather point on the farms and just produce. And it'll be so annoying for Bassai to deal with, and it would really disrupt his farming eco. Of which he only has 35 farms, right? So taking out 10 of those is a big deal. But I'm not sure Superhero really has the sort of mental capacity to deal with that right now, because there's a lot happening at the front, and I would not blame him for being unable to focus on that. And he really hasn't got the food either of his own to spend on that.
And the thing is during all that fight there, Superhero, the military production's completely died. He doesn't know what to make. He doesn't know what to do now, because there's this skirm spear or skirm pike mix, skirm helm I should say, mix from Bassai Dai. He's not figured out what to do, and he's only got 3 cav archers, 2 chubs on the field. We're going back to camels now, despite not seeing that many cavalry on the field. There are some light cav that are looping round, but I don't think he's seen those, has he?
No, it's not clear that he has. I love this decision from Bassai Dai. Like, this is basically game winning right now. This raid will be so devastating for Superhero. It's not what he wants to see. 200 pop to 100. And the skirms have done a good job for Bassai Dai. They've done a really, really good job. Obviously not as well upgraded as they could be, as a generic skirmisher could be, but it doesn't really matter whether he has the numbers like that. And also, Superhero, to be honest, lacking those armor upgrades really hurts him as well, right? But the cavalry archers are all dead. The only thing left to deal with these light cav are the camels. But there's just not enough of them. And light cav are having a field day there. Castle gets bombarded and trebbed down. And Bassai Dai now is starting. He's got 97 on wood. Please send some to gold, Bassai Dai. Please.
We still have the same 7 villagers on gold as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll matter.
Is doing a really good job. It's nice that he's now managed to put them on the gold pile as well. That will damage Superhero quite a bit.
Yeah.
Again, the Superhero still doesn't really know what to make. He's not. There's nothing in queue. There's not really the res there to make anything. It has to be said.
No, there's no res.
Bassai Dai now coming forward with the castle. So this, and there goes it to GG. So Bassai Dai takes the win.
Takes the win, 2 games to 1. Eco KD at the end, 76-3, and that really tells the story.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
Bassai Dai, neither player was raiding heavily, but when those raids came in, it proved so devastating. And Superhero tried, to his credit, he tried to raid Bassai Dai's eco himself, but it was a good defense. He had in Feudal Age when the scouts came to raid, Bassai Dai had spears around. And in Castle Age, when the Step Lancers came to raid, Bassai Dai had some spears of his own, and he did lose a couple of vills there, but that was the moment when Bassai Dai pounced on Superhero's woodline and killed a ton of vills, and it really set up the game for him. So, hey guys, says Bassai Dai in the chat, congratulations to Bassai Dai. 4th time's a charm. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it's been 3 games or 4 games that they've played together now, but Bassai Dai does claim the victory against his old foe, Superhero.
Yeah, well played both. I mean, the Nomad game is right up there as a very early contender for a game of the tournament. There's a hell of a lot of Age of Empires 2 to be played with Training Ground 2, but I think that has a reasonable shout come the end. That was really entertaining. And and Superhero, obviously he comes away losing to play all 3, but his performance in Nomad was very good. His performance in Golden Swamp was just, we use the word again, utterly clinical.
Yeah.
So and that's clearly a map that suits him well. So he'll hope to use that map quite a few more times throughout the rest of the group and the rest of the tournament. But yeah, it was a really well played set. Really enjoyable to cast. Thanks, Walt, for having me in.
No, very good, very good co-casting. Thank you. Yeah, and it was a really fun one to watch. Like, I know it's just so nice for me because that's exactly why I want to host this tournament, to have great games to watch like that, and hopefully you all viewers enjoyed it too, and the players, I'm sure, enjoyed it. Well, might have been a bit of a nerve-wracking game one, but yeah, they're a really, really good set. Couldn't ask for any more between those two. And GG Superhero, sorry with the board. Yeah, Bassai Dai, the lamer boy. No need to apologise though. It's all in the rules. Cool. Okay, so what happens now is I will have a 10-minute break. We're going to have set between who's that one again?
Atomic Sausage and Duke Canada.
Atomic Sausage and Duke Canada. Yes. And Vinny is going to co-cast that. And then in the evening, we're back to live Age of Empires with Daisy versus Alicog. Another banger. I think 3 really good sets today, actually. If they're anything like the first one, should all be really good. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm just going to have a quick drink and something to eat, and then I'll be back at 6 o'clock UK time, 17 GMT. And we'll go through those recorded games. So thank everyone, clap Nillis in the chat. It was really good to have you co-casting Nillis, and yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Cheers.